And to bring this back, if we're going to present now, and let's say let's see here. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Brian.
Let's see. I talked to Brian on the phone. In fact, let me just do a quick exercise. Brian, come on up here for a second, would you? He's like, oh, what are you doing?
Turn that camera off.
Oh, come on. So, bring Brian up. Now, first thing, he obviously being brought up to the front of the room makes people uncomfortable, so shake it out for a second. Okay, he's good. Salespeople actually don't get uncomfortable when they're put on the spot. So tell me a little bit about the last major purchase you made. What was it?
The last major purchase I made, rented a new house.
Yeah?
See that as a purchase.
And why?
And why? Well, it's a big decision,
Okay.
essentially.
Right, but why did you rent the house?
For the family, needed a bigger, more secure sort of layout.
Bigger, more secure sort of layout.
Yes.
Okay. Now, look at how he's standing. Is he standing way up, way down, or in the middle?
Middle.
Middle. How fast is he speaking?
Moderate.
Moderate. And did he say, like, I went and looked at a bunch of houses, or he just said, no, this is what we needed?
What you needed.
What we needed, right. So what I would say is he is what? Is he visual, auditory, or kinesthetic? Auditory. But probably on the cusp of auditory and visual, and here's the reason I say that, the shirt. And the reason is this, visual people tend to have things that are a little more colorful or flare, like Natasha's glasses, someone mentioned, right? Someone who is more auditory kinesthetic would have just probably gotten black frames, right? Visual people go, ooh, I love the red, because it looks cool, right? So they respond to different things. So if I'm going to present to him, I should be ready to, first off, do I need a longer appointment than with someone who's highly visual like Natasha, yes or no?
Yes.
Should I be ready with slides or stories?
Both.
Say again?
Both.
Stories.
Okay, if I have both ready, what am I going to emphasize more?
Stories.
Stories, right, for him. Because an auditory person learns through stories. Does that make sense? Right? So I'm going to be ready. I have my stories. I might refer to the computer, but I know with him there's going to be a lot of talking. True? Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, also I think depends on the content of whatever it is we're discussing. So I mean, I probably could be auditory for certain things and maybe visual on others.
Exactly. Great. Give the man a hand. Eric up real quick. Eric, come on up. All right. Now, Eric, stand here. Yes, sir. How are you?
Great.
Good. Now, tell me about the last major purchase you made.
Last major purchase was probably a flight back east.
Okay. Flight back east. That's different. That's major material purchase you made.
Last major,
Car, house, expensive piece of jewelry, something like that.
I don't make any money, man.
Okay. So you gotta talk to your brother about that. Huh? So what would you say? What was the last big thing?
Let's say watch.
Okay, the watch. Why did you buy it?
I haven't worn a watch for a while, and I wanted something that looked nice and just something to wear.
And what was it particularly about the watch that appealed to you?
It reminded me of a watch that I had been given when I was 13. A very classic, very simple, very sleek.
Yeah. Now, let me just say a few things. One, what did he say? It's the watch that I what at? Looked at.
Visual.
Do you notice? How long have you owned that watch?
Less than a month.
Less than a month. But in a month, how many times do you think he's seen the watch? A few hundred, right? But as he's describing it to me, what did he have to do?
Looking at it.
He knows exactly what his watch looks like. It's silver, it has a white face, but I got this, right? He is obviously more what? Visual. And so if I'm going to him, and by the way, what do you also say? It's sleek, it's classic, it's, visual cues. I like the way it looked. So if I'm selling to him, he's visual, maybe can come down to auditory sometimes. But even if you look at how he's holding himself, right? Shoulders are back, can't stop moving this hand. Right? Visual people are always kind of moving. So if I'm saying to him, I'm going to have some stories, but is this going to be a shorter or longer appointment? Shorter. I'm also going to be ready with lots of what? Charts, graphs, pictures. Don't mess around with the computer. Have it turned on before you get in the appointment. Be on that web page, even if you don't have a connection, right? This guy just wants to see it so he can decide. How long did it take you to decide on your watch, by the way?
20 minutes.
Right. See it and decide. Much more visual. Give the man a hand.
Yeah.
So you see, could you pick this up over the phone? Sure. Just listen to how fast they speak and what type of words they use. And from that, you know how much time to set for the appointment, and you know what materials to bring, and what to be prepared to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, could I offer,
Yes.
one thing I try to do is read the way the person obviously is communicating to you too. Some people love to send a deep deck, PDF, history of their company, sales charts. It's obviously giving you a clue that that
Right.
person likes that. You can kind of figure out how their communications are flowing with you. And then
Absolutely, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I just had a client that said to me, I sent you everything you need for the training. I opened it up, and it was all charts, graphs, histories of things. This guy is obviously what?
Visual.
Visual. And as another example, I had a different client I'm going to train, and they said to me, well, I sent you a good email that tells you everything you need to know. And the email was like this long, right? So they're obviously what? They wanted to explain it to me, explain it to me, explain it to me, right? Now I work both ways. I'm about auditory going towards visual, but you can just tell exactly what you said from how they communicate, what they share with you, how they like to be communicated to, right? It's great. So first off is the person visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, and adjust to that. Second thing you want to look at is, are they towards or away driven?